Hi, now let's move to question number 2 of the exercise 2.4. In here, we are asked to simplify each expression, the different expressions that we are given. We have to simplify them. So how do we do that? We'll simply follow the same rule we learned in the previous question. First, we'll multiply the numerical coefficients, then we look at the variables one by one. If the variable appears only one with any number of exponent or power, it can be 1, it can be 2, or it can be 3, any number it can be, we will look at it. If it's expressed only once, we will write it as it is. If the same variable appears more than once, we add their exponents according to the law of indices. So finally, the final version would be that we will be writing the simplified expression in alphabetical order. So let's just take a start with the very first one. We have in here 3 multiplied by 2x multiplied by 4. So first we combine like terms by grouping variables with variables and constant with constants. So we have in here we will write it as 2x multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4. So multiplying the constants together we get 12, and then multiplying the coefficient. So in here the coefficient of x is 2. 2 multiplied by 12 is equal to 24. Since there is only one variable, so we will write them as it is next to the number, which is the coefficient of x. This is our 24x is our final simplified form of this expression. Next we have 5x multiplied by 2x multiplied by 3y. So it is already grouped together, or combined the like terms already. So what do? We multiply the coefficients. 5 multiplied by 2 is equal to 10, x multiplied by x. So in here the power of x is here 1, and in here it's also 1, so 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So therefore it will become 10x square. Then multiply by 3y. So in here again the coefficients will get multiplied first. So 10 multiplied by 3 is equal to 30. X squared would be written as it is. X squared multiplied by y is equal to x square y. So this is our final form, the final answer for this expression. Then we have 2x multiplied by 3y multiplied by 2xy. So we have three different terms in this expression. 2x multiplied by 3y, we multiply the coefficients, so it would become 6xy. The variables will be written as it is next to each other with the coefficient. Then we have 6xy multiplied by 2xy. We multiply one term at a time. So 2x is first multiplied with 3y, then the resulting is multiplied with 2xy. So 6xy multiplied by 2xy, 6 multiplied by 2 is equal to 12. X multiplied by x. The variables are the same, so their powers will be added. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, so it will become x squared. In here again, y is the variable that appears not only in this term but this term as well, so they are same, their powers are same, so their powers will be added. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. This way the final simplified expression would be 12x squared y squared. xy multiplied by xz multiplied by x. So in here we do not have any coefficient. We take it, we assume it to be 1. When there is no coefficient written, it means the value is 1. So 1 multiplied by 1 is equal to 1. In here the variable x gets multiplied with x, so it will become x squared. 1 plus 1, the powers are added. Y and z are only appearing in one term only, so therefore they will be written as it is. As a result, we get x squared yz multiplied by x. So this way again the multiplication takes place, x getting multiplied with x. These are the like terms, so the powers will be added. In here the power is 2, in here the power is 1, so 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. The rest of the variables will remain the same. We will write it as it is next to x cube. So the final would be x cube yz. Then we have 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3x multiplied by 4. So we combine the like terms and rearrange the terms. It will turn out to be 3x multiplied by 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. Then we multiply the constants together. 4 multiplied by 2 is equal to 8. 8 multiplied by 2 is equal to 16. So we will have the final expression, that is 3x multiplied by 16, as a result of this multiplication of the constants together. Then we have this term that has a variable, so the coefficient of the variable will get multiplied with 16. This way we will get 3 multiplied by 16 is equal to 48. Since we have only one variable in this expression, therefore we will write it as it is next to 48. So the final simplified expression would be 48x. We have 614 multiplied by 2x multiplied by 3x squared y. So combining the like terms, in here we do not have like terms because every term is different from one another, but we can arrange them in the alphabetical order of the variable. So in here we have 3x squared y, then multiplied by 2x multiplied by 4. So the coefficient of the variables will get multiplied first. 3 multiplied by 2 is equal to 6. X squared multiplied by x is equal to x cubed. The variables are the same, their powers will be added. So 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So it will become x cubed. Y is only present in this 3x squared y term, therefore we will write it as it is when it gets multiplied with the x. So we will have the term of, after the multiplication as 6x cubed y multiplied by 4. So now again 6 gets multiplied with 4, so it will become 24. X cubed y will be written next to it as it is because we do not have any other variables to get it multiplied with. So this whole 6x cubed y gets multiplied with 4, giving us 24 x cubed y as the final simplified expression. Then we have x multiplied by y squared multiplied by 4x. So we will write it in the manner where combining the like terms. So 4x multiplied by x multiplied by y squared. So again the coefficient in here of x is 4, in here the coefficient is 1. There is no number, so we assume it to be 1. Whenever you have a variable and that has no coefficient, it means the coefficient is 1 in here. So 4 multiplied by 1 is equal to 4, and in here the variable x and x, it's the same variable with the same powers, so their powers will be added. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, so we will get 4x squared multiplied by y squared. So 4x squared multiplied by y squared, it will become a 4x squared y squared. In here the variable, the coefficient of y squared is 1, so 4 multiplied by 1 is equal to 4. X squared multiplied by y squared is equal to x squared y squared. Then we have 2a multiplied by 3ab multiplied by 2c. So the coefficient of 2a will get multiplied by 3ab. In here the coefficient is 2, in here the coefficient is 3. Multiplication gives us 6. A gets multiplied with a, so the powers are added. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, and we have only 1b, so we will write it as it is. This way the term will become 6a squared b. Then we write multiply by 2c from in here, and this way again the coefficients of the variables will get multiplied together. 6 multiplied by 2 is equal to 16. A square b multiplied by c will give us a square bc. So this is the final simplified term we get from simplifying this expression. Then we have 10x multiplied by 2y multiplied by 3. So 10x multiplied by 2y, so 10 gets multiplied with 2 because the 10 and 2 are the coefficients of the variable. We get 20. X gets multiplied with y, so we write them as it is because they are different variables. So we will get 20xy. We write them as it is next to each other when they're multiplied. Then we have multiply by 3 from here. So 20 multiplied by 3 is equal to 60. Since there is no other variable in the expression, so therefore xy will be written as it is next to 60, because this 30 is getting multiplied with 20xy, this whole term, so therefore it will become 60xy. Then we have 4 multiplied by x multiplied by 2 multiplied by y. We can arrange the order as well by writing the constants together, and then variables first and then constants later, or we can multiply 4 with x, we get 4x, 2 with y, we get 2y, and then multiplying the coefficient of the variable 4 with 2, getting 8, and x multiplied by y, we get xy. So 8xy would be the final answer. 9 multiplied by x squared multiplied by xy, so 9 being a constant getting multiplied with x squared, which has a coefficient of 1, so it would become 9x squared. Then 9x squared getting multiplied with xy, so in here the coefficient of xy is 1, 9 multiplied by 1 is equal to 9, x squared multiplied by x is equal to x cubed, and y, x squared multiplied by y would be y itself. So in here, as you can see, the power of x is 2, in here the power of x is 1, so when doing the multiplication of the variable, their powers are added, so 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, and the final simplified form would be 9x cubed y. Then we have 4x squared y squared multiplied by 2x squared y. The coefficient of the variables will get multiplied. 4 multiplied by 2 is equal to 8. X multiplied by x squared is equal to x cubed. Y squared multiplied by y is equal to y cubed. In here the power is 1, the power is 2, so 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. 2 multiplied by in here the power of y is 2, in here the power of y is 1, so 2 plus 1 again 3. Since it's multiplication, they will be written next to each other. We will get 8x cubed y cubed. Then we have 7xy multiplied by 2xz multiplied by 3yz. So considering these two terms for multiplication first, the coefficient of the variable is 7 in here and here 2. So the coefficients of the variable will get multiplied with each other. We get 14. Then we look into the variables. We have in here x and in here x as well. So x and x the same variable, so their powers will be added. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. In here the variable is y and in here the variable is z, so they will be written as it is next to x squared. So the final term we will get after the multiplication of these two terms, so it will be 14x squared yz. Then we will multiply this term with 3yz, so the coefficient of the variables will get multiplied with each other. 14 multiplied by 3 is equal to 42. Then x squared, since we do not have x squared in this term, so we will write it as it is. Y gets multiplied with y. The variables are same, so their powers will be added. Here the power of y is 1 and in here it's 1 as well, so 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Then we see the next variable, it is z. In here it is z, the power is 1, and this z has the power of 1 as well, so when multiplying the powers will be added of the variable, so 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. This way the final simplified expression would be 42x squared y squared z squared. Then we have 4xy multiplied by 2x squared y multiplied by 7, so the coefficient of the variable 4 will get multiplied with the coefficient of variable 2, so we get 8. Again, multiplication of the variables, we look into the terms that are getting multiplied and see or check the variables. In here we have x and we have x squared in here, so when multiplying these two, the powers will be added. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. In here we have y, so we have y in this term as well, so their powers will be added. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, so the term will become 8x cubed y squared. Then multiply by 7 as we have it in here, So multiplying 8 multiplied by 7 is equal to 56. Since 7 is getting multiplied with 8x cube y square, so it would become 56x cube y square, because we do not have any other variable in here, so we will write these variables as it is next to 56. 9 multiplied by xyz multiplied by 4xy, so it would become 9 getting multiplied in here. The coefficient of the coefficient of the variable is 1, so 9 multiplied by 1 is equal to 9 xyz. Since it's appearing only once, so we write it next to the coefficient as it is, xyz. Then 9 gets multiplied with 4xy term, so the coefficient of the variable 9 in here and the coefficient of variable 4 in here will get multiplied. We get 36. X getting multiplied with x, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, so it becomes x square. Y multiplied by y, 1 plus 1, the powers are added, so it becomes y square. And z only present in this term with power of 1, so it would be written as it is. So the final simplified form would be 36x square y square z. Then we have 3x square y multiplied by 2xy square multiplied by 3xy. Now since we have to simplify it and there is multiplication sign, so we first multiply these two terms. 3 multiplied by 2 is equal to 6. The coefficient of the variables will get multiplied first, and looking into the variable, we see if this variable is present in this term as well. As we can see, it is. So in here the power is 2, in here the power is 1, so 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Y in here the power is 1, in here the power is 2, so it would become 6x cube y cube. Then 6x cube y cube multiplied by 3xy, it would become 6 multiplied by 3 is equal to 18. X cube multiplied by x become x raised to the power of 4. Y cube multiplied by y, it will become y raised to the power of 4. So the final simplified expression would become 18x4 y4. Then we have 9x multiplied by 2xy multiplied by 3x square. So in here 9 will get multiplied with 2, so 18. X getting multiplied with x, the power of both the variable is 1, so 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Y appears in this term only with power 1, so we will write it as it is, 18x square y. Then it gets multiplied with 3x square, so in here 18 multiplied by 3 is equal to 54. X square multiplied by x square is equal to x raised to the power of 4, because their powers are getting added, so 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Y appears only once in this term with power 1, so we will be writing it as it is next to x raised to the power of 4. So the simplified expression would become 54x raised to the power of 4 y. So this is in the power, and this y is in multiplication with x. Then we have 2x multiplied by xy squared multiplied by 3xy. So the coefficient of variable is 2 in here, the coefficient of variable is 1 in here. So 2 multiplied by 1 is equal to 2. X multiplied by x is equal to x squared, and y squared would be written as it is, y squared. So it becomes 2x squared y squared. Multiply by 3xy, so again the coefficient of the variables get multiplied together, it gives us 6. Then we look into the variables in each term for multiplication. X squared will get multiplied with this x, and we will get x cubed. This y squared will get multiplied with this y, getting y cubed, because the power is in here 2, in here 1, so when doing the multiplication of the same variables, their powers will be added, so it becomes y cubed. So 6x cube y cube is the final simplified form of this expression. That's all for this question. I hope it's all clear. You have to keep in mind that when we are doing the multiplication in expressions, so the coefficient of the variables get multiplied with each other, and the variables are checked one at a time, their powers. If the variables are same in both the terms that are multiplied together, their powers are added, and if they are different, they are written next to the coefficient as it is. Thank you everyone, and happy learning.